Hey, welcome back. So today I just want to kind of talk things over. It's been a rough last couple of weeks, especially with the new administration and our shadow president coming in and infiltrating different areas of our government, offering to lay off our government workers, our skilled government workers that take years to build up those skills. Doge going in and getting access to information, those kind of things. Last time this administration was in power, they did practice their doctrine, just having multiple things to overwhelm you and make you feel like you can't do anything. That is their plan. We know that Steve Bannon did an interview before Trump was elected the first time around discussing that. And so we need to make sure that we conserve our energy and put our energy into specific things. We can't fix everything. Everybody needs to find their place. And AOC, she did a great video. It is an hour and a half long. I listened to it in pieces as I could. And part of that was finding your place. Me personally, in 2016, I went out and protested, especially with what we called the Muslim ban. I was in Spokane, went to my city council meetings, went out in public. I also did the Women's March in a couple of different cities. And that was the right place for me. I would love to do that again. Go out and protest. I can't. I am an hour from the largest city. I'm 4 hours from the capital, and I have a small child. I have a full-time job. I can't just step away, and if something happened to me, I can't. It's not worth the risk. But I have a different place this time around. And so trying to build my community, build activism in my area, that is where I'm trying to find my place this time around. And so that's kind of what I want to talk about, is probably going to be in 4 different sections: conserving our energy, doing what matters to you, and making sure that you find joy. I think the next part I'll talk about stocking what you use, kind of some things that I have done for at home. Unfortunately, feels a little like COVID, feels a little like not feels little. It is the rise of fascism. So trying to prepare yourself for kind of the inevitable and hope that it just doesn't happen. Building your community and what kind of activism. And then the last part would be preparation as far as paperwork, medical, those kind of things of what we have done. So they'll be pretty short. I don't want them to be too long, but I did want to break it up into some pieces. So for the first one, the conserving your energy. So again, I can't go out and protest. I can't drive hours out of my day. I have other responsibilities that are time constraints, those kind of things. Also, I can't risk the possibility of not being there for my kid. So there's some things that I'm doing locally. I would like to get away from Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, but they are spaces where you can find community. Sorry, I'm gonna sneeze. Or not. Might be the light. And I have spent the last 15, 20 years building those groups. Here locally, we are such a small town, such a small area. I did incorporate several towns, so I kind of did some research online of what other people call groups. Do I call it Blue or County? Those kind of things. And people recommended using Progressives. That is a Reddit group that I'm part of. They do call it Progressive Moms, but it is for pretty much anybody. I think most of the posts that you make do have to do in some way with kids, but any kind of progressive parent. But it is called Progressive Moms, and that's on Reddit. I've really enjoyed it. I've done a little, Q&A, asking people their opinions and those kind of things. So I called mine Progressives of my city and 3 cities around, etc. Because we are small enough. I only have a few people in it, but I'm not really posting much personal information in general on Facebook anymore. But am posting in that group different things that I find, information I find on Reddit. I also posted Amazon. I had deleted the Amazon app. I have already been working my way away from Amazon, but Amazon does have a sale on birth control right now. And so I was able to get 8 tablets. I do not have Amazon Prime, but if you buy 4 or more, they have a discount. So I got 8 tablets for $35. As most morning after pills are, it is up to 150 pounds. So I'll have to do some research. I clearly weigh more than that, on what to take for when you do weigh more than that. There are also guidelines online for using your birth control pills as morning after, so that would be something to research as well. There are some other options. I have not needed it before. It is fine if people need it. I just want to have it on hand in case I can share with somebody else. The same reason I bought a box of 50 pregnancy tests, just in case somebody else might need it. So that's another form of preparing for things that we might not have access to, and making you go to a doctor and have a medical record that shows you're pregnant. So having those tests, they don't expire for a couple of years. I just wanted to have them on hand. 50 of the little strips were $15. So I just went for it. I can stash those away under my kitchen sink or my bathroom sink for if they're needed in the future. So those are things that I can put my energy into. Small preparations to share for somebody else. Also, with where I live, we do have a large immigrant community. And so how can I help them as well? I do follow several groups online. Facebook, when there's events, I check a lot of the comments. On Reddit, there is the group called La Migra, and it is for tracking ICE and seeing where they are. So if I find some comments or some pictures on Facebook, I've been sharing those onto Reddit. I'm remotely anonymous, but trying to make sure that those are being followed. Obviously, they are getting access. I think being in Washington will help as far as access to schools and things like that, but that is terrifying. And my son, I have no idea. It's none of my business. It is part of what creates our economy here, and our area would not function without the immigrants who come to work here and be a big part of our community. My son's school that he goes to, the true school that he will, he goes to daycare right now, but he goes to TK next year, and our play groups that we go to, the library, those kind of things, those are families who are in our community. They are our neighbors, and making sure that everybody has a safe place to be. So I'm trying to figure out getting together with people in my Facebook Progressives group of maybe creating some pamphlets that we can just put up on bulletin boards at a couple of local businesses for people to take, at the post office, those kind of things. Some other things that I can put my energy into. So in previous videos I had mentioned I was going to do a sourdough starter, and I did a couple rounds of trying to get one started. I don't know if my house isn't just warm enough or what. I have a bread maker. I can buy active yeast. That is not something that I'm willing to put any more energy into. And then looking up how to actually set up the sourdough loaf. It's an all-day process that I'm not back at my house every 2 hours, kind of thing. So I made a loaf of bread in the bread machine today, and we'll have sandwiches for dinner. So that, again, not worth my energy to deal with the sourdough starter. But we are getting ready to start our vegetable seeds. Every year I do try to do a garden, and it usually does okay until August when it gets to 120 degrees and then everything fries. So this last year, I did not do any kind of garden. My husband did some containers and he set up a drip system. We had tomatoes, we had broccoli. Okay, we got things to survive. I didn't have to put my energy into it. So my son is really interested. When we did have a garden out back, he thoroughly enjoyed eating fresh arugula out of the ground, peas, those kind of things. And he asks quite a bit, is this plant food? Is this one that I can eat? Do we have to cook this one before I can eat it? He wants to know. So we got him a swing set last year. We got our backyard set up. More is his space. So we'll hang some shade cloths for us to be in the backyard because there's no shade in my backyard. We are full sun, north central Washington desert. But then I will make some hoop houses with shade cloth covering for our vegetables and see if that helps us get a harvest longer. I, of course, went a little bit overboard buying seeds, but they last for years. I have a specific spot I already store them. That's okay. I do have an indoor greenhouse that I used to have back in this corner when I was doing houseplants. I have a lot of houseplants still, but I am not buying and selling higher end, plants. It was fun. Again, I'm done with that. I enjoy the plants that I have. The ones that survive the newborn stage, man, they'll live through anything. So, that has been stored away. Today, we brought it in yesterday, let it thaw out, drain off any water, because it was stored in a garbage bag outside that, deteriorates over time. And so I did get that set up. It's a little bigger than I thought it would be, but we did set it up to the side of our living room, because if you don't see it, I'll forget to water them and we won't have our garden. So we'll get some seeds started and hopefully we'll have enough vegetable starts to share with our community. Even if it's just my friends, they are still my community. And that is something that's important to me, being able to grow food. I will never grow enough food to get my grocery bills down, but they have been called a victory garden. And, if I can grow something for me here, that's a victory and something I can share with my community. Hey, I have too many tomatoes. Do you want some? Fresh tomatoes are amazing. So, those are some things. Conserve your energy. Focus on what's important to you. Find yourself some joy. It's going to be a rough ride for 4 years, but we can do it. I'll see you shortly.